Hi there, I'm Sam Smeltzer and I'm the creative director of HRart Services. And let me just start off by saying that I am so thrilled that you are watching this video right now because that means that you are interested in learning more about our coaching services here at the HRart Center. This service line I am so passionate about, and I'm so happy to hear that you're trying to find out if it's a right fit for you or your organization. So in this video, I have basically four major objectives. I want to define this concept of heart for all of you so that you know exactly why we're called the HRart Center. I also want to define the HRart Model, which evolved out of a book that I wrote called From Heart to Heart. It's a 5P concept that really has become this framework that we use with many of our clients. We've just found that it kind of has naturally evolved in that scenario. I also want to talk about what to expect. So if you are to coach with the HRart Center, what can you expect in that process? And then finally, if you're interested or have more questions, how do you continue to move forward? So without further ado, let's move in and just start at the beginning by defining heart. So many people are always asking, what is heart? What is this concept? Also, how to pronounce it. So if you haven't noticed when I'm saying heart and you maybe didn't even realize that that's the word, HRart, we pronounce it heart here at Leadership Arts Associates. Some people say HRart, HRart, but it's heart. And so what is it? Heart encompasses the internal arts that unlock individual potential, which means here at Leadership Arts Associates, but more importantly here at the HRart Center, everything that we do at this center is all about unlocking individual potential. So therefore, what is the definition of heart? It is your true potential. So when I think about heart and I think about what's at the core of this, and this will make much more sense when we talk about the model, heart at the core is your true potential. What you came here to do in this world, where you were given the gift of life, is your heart. All right. So what is this model, this 5P model? Because in my first book, it just naturally evolved that I was obsessed with these 5Ps, or P words in general. But they come out to passion, purpose, people, possibility, and power. And as you can see, I have them set up like a cycle because I believe that they all feed into each other. In our coaching work, I find that sometimes people are focused in one area, but it also has the ability to feed to others. I also love this idea of a cycle, and I kind of pulled it from the concept from traditional Chinese medicine, which we have a lot of that philosophy embedded in the HRart Center, because that's where a lot of my research is done. The 5-element chart kind of talks about them all feeding into each other. So in traditional Chinese medicine, we believe that there is a root cause, but every single event and occurrence feeds to something else, and it has a greater impact and an evolution. And through the work that I've done with individuals, that's really what we're finding is we're unpacking, we're undoing. And that's a lot of that healing work. It's restorative. And so that's no different here with the coaching aspect or the HRart model when we talk about these 5Ps. So let's just run through them very briefly just to give you a taste of what falls into each of these buckets. I always believe that for most of us, this cycle starts with passion, because passion is that fire. It is that exciting emotion that gets us to take action, especially in the professional environment, which is the area that we focus on here at the HRart Center. We're working with passionate professionals like yourself. And so it is that passion, it is that fire that gets us to take action in our organizations, in our work, and do whatever that pathway is that we feel called to do. That feeds directly into purpose, which is our why. It is that meaning. It is the reason why we push through when things get hard, when we have to do the stuff that we're not necessarily passionate about, but are necessary to do and achieve the mission that we have for ourselves in life. That feeds into people. I believe that people are some of the greatest gifts that we're given in life. Some of them are not such exciting, surprising gifts, but they all give us these powerful lessons. I think that the universe, or whatever you believe that we're connected to on a higher level that allows us to fulfill our purpose, communicates to us immensely through people, uses people as this huge conduit to send us messages and to allow us to do our work. And even if we're finding ourselves dealing with several difficult relationships or difficult people that we have to manage, there is something to be learned from there. And I think that when you're doing some serious work around your purpose and working to achieve that, people do emerge with lessons to provide, which leads to the next one, which is possibility. This is the vision piece. What's possible? Believing in this grander scale of what can happen. People playfully refer to me as the HR unicorn because of my eternal optimism for what the workplace can be, on how teams can function, and I truly see it and believe it. Sometimes I have to calm myself down because just because I can see it doesn't mean that people are ready to take on the tasks and do the things that need to get done to make it happen. But when we're talking about heart and true potential, we see the possibility. We know what's possible for ourselves, our organizations, and others. And the final one in this 5 cycle is power. This is when we really are able to embrace our strengths and step forward and be able to function with also knowing that every event that happens that causes an evolution moves us closer to our potential, moves us closer to our purpose, moves us closer to getting those lessons that are happening from people. When we come to power and we can stand our own ground and we're able to do that and continue this forward momentum, we don't take as much personally or inner judgment when things are happening, which is a lot of ego talk, fear-based talk that happens. So what are some of the common things that I see coming out and emerging with my clients in this cycle? Number 1 is people. I mean, I'm an HR background, so it's natural that if you have people issues, you're coming to HRart Associates. But I see that we underestimate the power of relationships and the impact they have on our lives. Also possibility. I think people hold back on what can be possible and what they could possibly achieve. Purpose, clarification, there's tons of books written on it, yet we don't take the time to figure out what that is for ourselves. Especially if you're in leadership, you have to have a purpose or it's not happening. And then on top of that, power, which I think is directly tied to the kidneys in traditional Chinese medicine, which is our energy source. I think we have so much chronic stress. We're so tired. We take on so much that we can't get to a place where we are truly powerful individuals in our organizations, truly powerful leaders to really manifest all of this. In fact, I think most of us depend on feeding off passion, that fire. But what happens when it's not present? We go find other jobs, we move on, we give up, we disengage. And so I think all of these are kind of feeding in. So that's just a taste, but giving you a little bit into the world of my belief system and really from a coaching perspective, the things that emerge and that we help with. So then moving on, what to expect in our coaching relationships, what does that look like? Well, number 1, they start with a discovery session, and the discovery session is a no risk, no fee, no nothing kind of situation. It really is the physical meet to make sure that a coaching relationship with us is the appropriate next step. Sometimes it's not us, and I have great partners in the area that I love to refer people to if you're working on something that does not make sense. It also might not be a HRart Center coaching. We also offer coaching in our HRart Associates branch, a service line, which is more focused on your traditional management skill sets, accountability skill sets, and that more tangible kind of focus. And so sometimes it's a referral to a coach on that service line. But the discovery session is really a time for us to get an idea of maybe which area in that HRart model is where we're going to start and do our work together. Then we do something called an initial strategy session. So when I do coaching with clients, I believe that my whole intent is to give you a starting point, and then I help guide you through the process. So yes, you can call it like homework, but it's usually a 45-minute session where we talk about a goal for our time together in our coaching relationship. It usually has 1 to 3 personal commitments, which means if during our coaching time together, I focus on these things, I will achieve my greater goal. I'm a big believer in do the little things and the big things will come. So these little things are those personal commitments to obtain the big thing, which is the coaching goal. And then I give you several different kind of strategies as a starting point that feed into our follow-up sessions. So during a 90-day process, you have follow-up sessions, which are basically follow-ups on what's happening during this coaching time frame. I believe that we set the coaching intention when we start our relationship, and anything that happens throughout our entire time together is part of that coaching process, which, like I said before about the gift of people, I believe people will show up. Struggles will show up during that coaching time together that is meant for us to achieve our goal. Finally, all of our coaching relationships are on a 90-day cycle. I say that loosely because I recognize I work with passionate professionals and sometimes work demands get a little high. And so sometimes those sessions, that 90-day might be more like a 6-month. But we work in these 90-day cycles because my whole intent is for you to be self-sufficient, for you to kind of get your wings and be able to take off and move to that next evolution. I don't promise to solve everything in that first 90 days, but I do promise to get you to that next evolution of one step closer to the momentum you're looking to gain in your career and in your life. So we do this in 90-day cycles. Sometimes we'll decide to do another 90-day cycle. For most of my clients, they are happy at the end of the 90 days and maybe come back later when they're facing another challenge. So once again, I just want to reiterate, my coaching philosophy is really built on this concept of we do the little things and the big things will come. I think for the most part, for many of us, we envision the big things, and I struggle with this. Everyone tells me I'm a forest gal, but I don't want to look at the trees inside the forest. I just want to have the forest. But we have to tackle the trees to get to the big thing. We have to do the little things, and the little things, if we trust in them, will allow us to achieve and manifest those big things that we were meant to do. And I wholeheartedly believe that. So how do you get started? Well, number one, if you have questions, feel free to email me. My email address is on the screen, SAMM@leadershipisart.com. Yes, I'm Sam with 2 M's. And then also, you can also call. You can call the office, the number 717-430-2850. I am extension 1. You can leave me a voicemail. You can also text that number, and I'm the one that answers all the text messages. So if you prefer to text, feel free to text away. Other than that, if you're ready to get started, it is time to schedule a discovery session. So you can click on that button, find an open discovery session slot. You can start that coaching process with me or one of the other coaches, whichever one floats your boat. But when we schedule that, there's no cost associated with that. You'll come out. It will be about a half an hour to 45-minute meeting, and we'll figure out if this is really right for you. So thank you again so much for tuning in and watching this short video about our coaching services. I hope it served you. I hope it helped bring more clarity. And once again, if there is anything else that I can do to help you in this decision and in your growth, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.